which you have given for RMI step 3, and I have the like a little bit question about that. Like, do we have to? We are implementing the IO as a like client class, right?
That's correct.
Then we have the PC as a server class. Now PC is we are implementing the PC to W interface, where we have the two methods of registering and unregistering the registries. So we are using it for that. And for IO class, previously I think for step 2 we did the PC to IO interface, which has the methods like determinant and that multiplications, and that's what we developed here. But now we added one more layer called worker class, and that was like implemented by W2 PC interface. And like in your example, it shows like we were using it the get ID. Instead of that, like right now we are using it the like process method, if I'm not wrong. So I got it until that part, but now for worker processes to calling the like how do we like corporate that worker class into that IO class?
Okay, let me just reframe the whole structure. Maybe it will help. We
Okay.
still have the IO, and IO plays the pure client role. So
Okay.
there is no server on the client, and it only plays the client role. For the PC side, we do have two servers on the PC side. One of them is to serve IO, another one is to serve workers. The first server on the PC that serves IO still offers the two remote methods. One of them is determinant, another one multiplication for matrices. The other server that is running on the PC side is to serve the workers, and this one will offer registration and unregistration. At the same time, PC plays the role of a client in its communication with workers. So, in other words, between every worker and the PC, there are two directions of services. So PC is the server and the client at the same time, and every worker is the server and the client at the same time. So there is no direct link from worker to input-output or to I/O. Every piece of data processing is distributed by the PC and is assigned to the worker. So if you're wondering how workers will actually receive the task that I/O submits to the PC, it is now your turn to actually modify the two remote methods, multiplication and determinant calculation, that you previously have implemented on the PC side. No longer it should be a case. They still have to be there on the PC side, but implementation of the multiplication method will not do multiplication. Implementation of the determinant will not do determinant calculation on the PC side. Instead, we will have to re-implement matrix multiplication method on the PC to split the workload and assign that workload to all known workers. And certain method from the worker has to be invoked to actually process those pieces of workload. And then results of this workload processing will be gathered back onto PC and will be combined together. And then result will be sent back to the IO. So in other words, implementation of the multiplication method will not do multiplication itself on the PC. It will split the workload, will distribute it among the workers, will gather partial results, will combine into one result, and will send this result to the IO. So it will not do the calculation. Calculation will be partially done by each individual worker, but not by the PC anymore.
Okay. Okay. And for our easy understanding, is there any landscape pictures you have? Because I tried it to draw it by myself, but do you have anything with, if you can share with us, if you have anything with that?
I tried several times to come up with a diagram, and actually I do this every semester in classroom, and every semester I'm coming up with different explanation of the
Okay.
whole infrastructure. So if you can share wherever you have drawn so far, it would be I would say not more convenient, but at least more productive for me to comment whether or not I see your vision correct or incorrect, or if there is anything to correct on your picture, rather than me to try to bring the picture that I have in mind into the scene,
Okay.
because it just doesn't work the way that I wish it to work. Every year we work with the same problem, but year after year I'm coming up with different explanation of the whole thing, despite that the solution's pretty much straightforward is
Hmm.
and very simple. Not simple, but at least straightforward. So
Okay.
if you have something to share, something to ask questions about, send it to the discussion board.
Okay.
I assume it doesn't have any code attached or anything, but the picture itself, I can we can discuss it on public domain.
Okay. Okay, Simon.
Anybody? Other questions?
Hi Simon, Kalyan
Hi,
here.
Kalyan. Do you have questions?
Yes, Simon. I have only one question. My question is that suppose say I have 5 workers registered to a particular PC, and the PC has shares 5 tasks to a 5 workers, and 5 workers is working on the particular task. So how could the PC know if any worker is came down, and how could PC assign the same task to another worker?
We assume that once the task is distributed,
Mm-hmm.
PC workers do not go down,
Okay, so
because it will overcomplicate the distribution algorithm.
okay.
We just assume that
Mhm.
the workload processing time is limited,
Okay.
and once the workload is assigned, the worker will be able to finish that workload.
Okay, so in that case, I can assume that every worker will be active all the time.
We actually can assume that worker, once it is given the task, it has to return a result of the task processing.
Yep.
But in between tasks, a worker can actually can be terminated.
Okay.
And the last tutorial that I posted actually shows the mechanism of how this can be monitored.
Yeah, I'm feeling very interesting. Like the matrix multiplication or determinant is it's not a big task, but so in consideration with the big something which is huge data. So there are some chances which can be a worker goes down, and we need to the PC should be able to assign the same work to the another worker. So I was in that and thinking on that context, but that's fine.
Yeah, that of course would make implementation more realistic.
Yep.
So in the meantime, but we're not focusing that much in advanced
Yes.
kind of reliable calculation.
Yes. So
My whole idea about this project was to actually introduce the typical problems that are out there, to distribute the task, to synchronize the task, to
yes.
gather back results and combine results.
Yes. Yeah. Sure. So that's my note. Thank you very much for that.
Anything else? Pretty. So if nobody has any questions, okay, good. Pretty doesn't have any questions. So there is nothing to discuss if there are no questions. I'm still available to answer any of your doubts or clear up some things that you will come up with over the discussion board. So discussion is out there. If you have something to ask, if you forgot to ask something today.
Dr. Bev, I have just one question. Like,
Okay.
as we discussed earlier, it is apart from what we have about this RMI steps. Like, is it possible, like, if you can give us those research work in advance so that we will not backed up with work on the end of the semester?
I actually, I'm thinking this semester I decided to slightly change the research assignment because previously I was just formulating the research assignment, do something that somehow related to the distributed computing. And that apparently didn't work well because students were coming up with all strange pieces of software that actually are not that are entertaining to make research on. So I came up with 3 topics, but there are 12 students, so I'm trying to pick up the topics. If you would prefer to make a topic research on some topic that is related to distributed systems, distributed computing, whatever thing that is considered to be not centralized but distributed. So it could be peer-to-peer technology, but something not that is that popular out there, but something new, something revolutionary, something breakthrough specific, that kind of things. So send me an email and I will approve it and you will start working on this right away.
Okay. And do you have anything mind in your, like you're saying you have some 2 or 3 topics, so
Uh,
from we can pick it up or something?
yeah, I will try to post. I will try to think of more, and I really want to post them all at the same time because otherwise it will be like a race condition that I really wouldn't like students to do. So I want everyone to be exposed to all topics and then see what kind of tasks, I mean, what kind of research you will pick up. If I post 3 now and then in 1 week another 3, that's probably not going to be a fair distribution of research assignments. So I will try to finalize the list till the end of coming week, so close to the 20th of February, and then I will post it there. But if you have anything in your mind before that date, just shoot me an email. We can discuss over email your specific
Yeah.
assignment. Same for everyone. If you have any proposal to make research on, if you're really impressed about some technology or some software, so that would be just good to consider as the research assignment.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, guys, there is, I believe, nothing else to discuss today. Again, if you consider using the discussion board for anything unclear, that would be much, much, much more appreciated if you ask questions on the discussion board rather than shoot me direct emails, because if you do it on the discussion, other students can benefit from seeing your questions. All right.
Sure.
So that's it for today. Have a good one.
Yeah. Thank you so much.